Live from Boise, Idaho, and sold out ExtraMile Arena on a Friday night. It's the regular season finale in the Mountain West for the Colorado State Rams and the Boise State Broncos. The winner takes the 2 seed to Las Vegas next week for the conference tournaments. And with Terrence Oglesby, I am JB Long. Hope you're having a terrific Friday night. Thank you for spending part of it with us. The Rams and the Broncos, two of the hottest teams in college basketball. And it's not just the league tournament, but they played themselves right onto the bubble of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, both these teams. And according to Mike DeCourcy, the legend Mike DeCourcy, Boise State's the last team in at this point. Could not be a bigger situation for this Broncos team. Have to play well today on Senior Day. Tyson Degenhart's Senior Day, who could be the greatest Bronco to ever don a Boise State uniforming on the other side. Colorado State kind of creeping in the tournament picture after playing exceedingly well over the last 3 to 4 weeks. This team is peaking at the right time, and Niko Medved loves his unit.
Yeah, they've won 6 in a row, 11 of their last 13. Nick Clifford led the way in the first meeting between these programs. That was a Rams victory. But as you said, on their home floor tonight, celebrating senior night for Cardenas, for Stanley, and for one of the all-time greats, Tyson Degenhart.
Absolutely right. He only needs 47 points to be the best scorer to ever be at this university. A terrific career, looking to end it off on a bang.
They won 5 in a row and 9 of 10 since that loss in Fort Collins to these Rams. What Leon Rice called rock bottom. Well, they're all the way back. And if the tournament started today, they would likely be in. The Rams have work to do. This feels like a must-have quad one opportunity to stay alive for an at-large bid. Otherwise, it's probably win and cut down the nets in Las Vegas from Colorado State standpoint.
Absolutely. They need this one to get consideration. But we talked to Niko Medved at shoot-around. He's like, I haven't looked at these things all season long. But now I open up a page by mistake, and I'm nervous. But he's got a team that's playing really, really well, led off by Nick Clifford, a guy that I think is going to play 10 years in the NBA, the guy with the ball right now.
Here he is, picked up by Stanley. Lake whirling to the lane. Kyan Evans, and giving this team great scoring production. Short clock. There's Neek. An air ball corralled by Degenhart to begin.
Sold out crowd here in Boise today. You can feel the energy. I may or may not have shed a single tear watching Tyson Degenhart come out here. The reception was amazing. Him and Omar Stanley both guys that have really attached to Leon Rice. It's been cool to see.
Degenhart puts his back to the basket. I thought you were going to say you were shedding that bacon breakfast you had today in Boise.
Both can be true.
2 boards for Degenhart. What else is new? Cardenas gets an extra possession. There's Stanley. A two-handed rip.
Go ahead and get senior night started off right. Cardenas to Omar Stanley. Stanley's been here for 2 years. Came from St. John's. He has found a home here as the extra effort guy, a big-time athlete, strong body. Really a key cog to everything Boise State does defensively, but you see what he can do on the offensive end as well.
Clifford too strong this time for 3, and the freshman Pearson Peanut Carmichael controls the defensive glass.
If you go by Peanut, you better be a player, and this young man was going to redshirt the first few games of this season, but he was killing everybody when he was on scout team.
Showing off his range. In fact, when he's been in the starting lineup, the Broncos have been undefeated. That's kind of been the inflection point for them in February turn March. Bamba sees 2. Evans slings it over to Clifford, who turns down the 3 to get to the lane and bring the whistle. Carmichael takes the first foul.
If you're Alvaro Cardenas, you were brought to Boise to do things just like this. Terrific pass to a big-time athlete in Stanley. Cardenas comes over from San Jose State, doesn't have this explosive burst, but what he does have is elite basketball IQ. The son of a coach back in Spain, this guy has fit in seamlessly for Leon Rice's team.
Colorado State recruited him in the portal as well, but he's about to break the Boise State assist record by about a full give per game. Lake with 10 to shoot, cut off by the freshman. Rams still trying to dial it in. Broncos all over their defensive glass. This is Andrew Meadow, who's been a key cog to the season turnaround for Boise State. Cardenas able to save it. Still halfway through the shot clock as the freshman puts his back to Lake. With Evans stunting Adam. Patient to the lane. And the follow-away for Peanut Carmichael.
You get a glance of the now with Degenhart. You get a glance of the future with Carmichael. Big-time scorer with size. Can post up smaller guards. There's a lot of talent in that young man's body.
Evans gets Stanley on the switch. They send 2 to the post right away. Evans from deep. And it goes. The first hoop for the visiting Rams.
I love Evans' game. Came in, understood he was going to play last year behind Isaiah Evans, learned a lot. This was a guy that was a Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year out of high school his senior season. Understood that he needed to be patient. And you're seeing the benefits right now.
Stanley toes the line. One and done for Boise State. Rebounded Jalen Crocker-Johnson, the 6'8 sophomore. A step on the sideline for Crocker-Johnson there. Leon Rice saying about these Broncos, their best quality is they know how to win, and they've really demonstrated that in their closing kick.
Well, it helps when your best player is your most unselfish player and one of your hardest workers, and that's certainly Tyson Degenhart. And then I really liked the fact that Cardenas came over and how he's able to lead this team, just put them in the right spot. You need a coach on the floor if you're going to play with bigger bodies. He is that.
The hands of Clifford, dig it out. He sprays it to the wing. Transition 3 hits. Jalen Lake having a senior season to remember.
Jalen Lake playing better over the last 3 games. 11 points, 3 and 3. Shooting 46% from 3 over those games.
Cardenas hits the brakes, kills the dribble. Carmichael to the corner. Meadow on the attack. Had the specs knocked off his nose. Knocked down 3 for the freshman.
Our man Peanut. Open up this game in a flurry. Senior night, freshman showing out.
Last month made his first start for the Broncos against first place New Mexico. Delivered a career best 21. Broncos 5-0 since, but the Rams have the answer and the lead for the first time.
How about Jalen Lake coming out, knocking down a 3 in transition. And he has kind of a set shot to where he does a nice job of setting his feet and getting ready to go.
Home crowd wanted a foul as Degenhart held it. Missed 3 by Meadow. Lake poured in a dozen on his senior night for the Rams earlier this week. Their most recent win. They were picked 7th in this league and finish as the 2 seed with a win tonight. Clifford calls his own number. And with about a half a dozen NBA scouts in attendance, they'll make note of that.
No question. You see the size, the skill, 6'6", 200 pounds. He's been asked to take a bigger leadership role this season. And he's gone about it by averaging better than 4 assists a game. And how about Omar Stanley not able to get it to go?
Meantime, the Rams have hit their last 4. Clifford will board it and bring it. His defensive rebounding, his superpower. Vision to find Crocker-Johnson. Still 15 to shoot as Evans resets. Sean Memba. Now with 5 in the hands of Jalen Lake. Steps back on Carmichael. Not even close. A shot clock violation. And after more than 6 minutes of uninterrupted action, the Colorado State Rams lead the Boise State Broncos 11-7.
And Neat Clifford, that's an NBA move. A little Dirk fadeaway. Colorado State up 4 here early in Boise.
Boise State scored the first 4 on senior night, but Colorado State has hit 4 of their last 5 shots to take the lead. Nico Medved in his 7th season said it'd be hard to imagine being more proud of a group than he is with this Rams unit. The collective spirit, their fight to stay together, has been beautiful to watch in his words.
I love it. And one thing about Nico Medved and the teams that he coaches, they share the basketball and they shoot the basketball. So far, during conference play, shooting 38.5% from 3 and 67, 2/3 of their offensive possessions that end in a basket are assisted. This is a team that moves the basketball, they play together, and they screen really well. So if you're a young player at home and you want to do some unselfish things, learn how to screen better, Nico Medved really teaches his guys the proper angles and techniques to do just that.
And on this end, their defense has really come along. It's been the secret sauce in their winning streak. Last 6 games, the defense holding opponents to fewer than 60 points per night. Emmanuel Ugbo, normally a starter for Boise State, steps in off the bench on senior night. Meadow with the basketball and 6 to shoot. Attacks with the lefts. And we're going to stay at this end as Ugbo was in the mix for that rebound and was fouled by Nick Clifford.
Now, there's several guys I've seen this season. Ugbo's one of them. Emmanuel Ugbo, number 10 for Boise. This is a guy, he looks like he can play defensive end. And I know you're a football guy. The broad shoulders, I mean, the build on this young man is impressive. But how about the split in the feet?
R.J. Keene has the finish.
How fun was it to talk to R.J. Keene today?
Well, you were on his case that he doesn't shoot the basketball enough, so he had to hop up off the Boise State bench and begin his night with a layup. But that was a knifing move by Cardenas to get it started. You're right.
Quick split. Keene, such a smart player and smart cutter away from the basket.
Clifford just picked up his first foul. Goes to work on Meadow. Hits the brakes. Hits the jumper.
Sometimes good offense is better than good defense. Exhibit A. I thought Andrew Meadow got over, was physical, played with his chest. Doesn't matter. Whenever you have a guy like Nick Clifford, he can hit those difficult shots.
We'll see him and Degenhart on the All-Mountain West first team next week. Meadow in trouble. Ripped out by Kyan Evans. One against Boise. And he flips it up and in.
Little spin off the glass. Kyan Evans is giving Boise State fits right now.
7 straight games in double figures. The sophomore from Kansas City.
You're right. I mean, Colorado State's defense, especially early in this game, physical. They stunt to the basketball. Exhibit A with Ethan Morton. They just rotate to the next guy so quickly.
Cardenas behind the back. From the elbow. A contested 2. Nothing but nets.
They say that mid-range jumpers dead. I disagree.
And not between Nick Clifford and Alvaro Cardenas.
It feels like this building is so close to taking off. They just can't buy a bucket right now. Get a stop, get out in transition, and let this crowd be a factor.
Rams hit 6 of their last 7. Now a whistle away from the basketball as Nikola Joppa is spilled.
This game's going up and down. Colorado State's been a battle of point guards. Both teams, Kyan Evans in transition, a little spin off the glass, why not? And on the other side, Cardenas, a little mid-range Jimmy. Point guard on point guard violence. We have a good one.
Fox Sports is proud to present a new postseason tournament, the College Basketball Crown. 16 teams from the top conferences. Put it all on the line. Coming this March. Live from Las Vegas, exclusively on Fox and FS1. Buy tickets now in the Vivid Seats app or at vividseats.com. We're back in Boise, the regular season finale here in the Mountain West for the Broncos and the Colorado State Rams. Two of the most productive college basketball teams in February turned March, both trying to play their way in with an at-large resume as they head to Las Vegas for the Mountain West tournament.
I think right away, Colorado State playing so well, making 6 out of their last 7 buckets. Just moving the basketball. You see there's not a ton of dribbling.
Clifford beats the buzzer.
That's just silly.
He's got 7 of their 18. Javen Buchanan in the game for Leon Rice and the Broncos. Gets it back from Ugbo. Enos, the program record holder in assists. Now Buchanan out of the corner. Extra pass, Meadow to the baseline. Got the bump at the bucket.
I love his game. Andrew Meadow, Big, strong, athletic. He played on this Strive for Greatness team with Bronny James. It wasn't an afterthought because you could see like his physical tools. But Boise State found a really good one, a guy I think is going to have an excellent career here for Leon Rice.
Bowen Bourne and a weak side rebound to Cardenas. You're right about Meadow. He's averaging better than 19 points per game over the last 4. Cardenas pulls in transition.
I love the recognition. An excellent rim run by Ugbo to put pressure on the rim. Defense has to come back. Just step into it.
Broncos have made their last 4. Now a steal. Ugbo to Meadow trailing. Couldn't get the roll after his own. And the whistle.
How about the curveball for Leon Rice to come out in the zone? Some trap pressure up around half court. Just giving a different look. It felt like Colorado State was just in such a good rhythm. But you see the second chance hustle by Andrew Meadow. Got across the wrist there. Young man's going to go to the free throw line.
First free throws of the night for either team, and these are 2 phenomenal foul shooting programs. They stay connected like this. Could be the end of game storyline. Colorado State 783 as a team. That's 16th in Division I. The Broncos make an average of 17 foul shots per night. Tops in the Mountain West. They're on track for a school record by percentage.
That's how you win close games, and you see this. Both of these teams' record in conference: 15-4, 14-5. It comes down to the end. You got to make free throws. One of the major reasons for their success. And again, you see the full court pressure. 1-3-1 Cardenas all the way up. To have it this extended, you don't see all that often.
7 unanswered for Boise State in this building, starting to buzz. Bourne to the wing. Williams off the shot fake. Spots Lake. He had the hot hand early. Here's Cardenas looking to recapture the lead. Let's see if they can get Degenhart a shot. It'll be his first of the night. And he gets out of the left hand.
That's what makes him so good. You're having a hard time from the perimeter. Give it to him in the post. He can score. He gets bigger players on him. He can pull them out away from the cup. Second all-time leading scorer for Boise State.
And it's a 9-0 rip. The Broncos back in front. Williams in deep. Trying to find daylight. One and done for the Rams. Broncos surging over the last 2 minutes. Step back 3. Cardenas. Got it! Timeout, Colorado State.
And it's starting to roll the right direction for Boise State. You know what Cardenas loves? A little step back. Left and over the top. Forget about it. Boise State rolling. This arena starting to get loud.
Boise State on a 12-0 run, making 6 of their last 7 shots. Alvaro Cardenas, as he has all season, stirring the drink.
He absolutely is. 8 points here in this early going on 3 of 4 shooting. And then getting his teammates involved as well, playing with so much pace. And since Boise State has changed their defense, it's allowed them to get up and down, cause a turnover, get a missed shot, and then they could get out and play a little bit faster. That's when he functions at his best, coming off ball screens. Early in this contest, though, and you and I were talking about this off a break, Colorado State was doing such a good job with their point guards defensively, or getting over ball screens and not letting Boise State create an advantage. Now, Degenhart setting much better screens, springing him free, Cardenas, and he's been able to take advantage.
Degenhart just got his first bucket of his senior night. Where do the Rams look to break this spell? Nearly 3 minutes without a hoop.
They've been running good stuff. Now, you see what Boise State's doing, getting out of zone pressure, going back to man-to-man, but if they're going to get back into this, it's going to be that man right there, Nick Clifford.
Carmichael takes his second personal, and Clifford has 7 points in the early going.
Peanut Carmichael, welcome to the Mountain West, and I'm not sure there was a ton of contact there.
Javen Buchanan is actually tagged with the personal foul, which
so
makes
it's a reach in from the corner.
A bit more sense after seeing that replay from the baseline angle. Rashawn Bemba turning left shoulder and finishing.
Rashawn Bemba is a load and a bit of a curveball for this team. He is walking into threes.
Oh, that was a heat check, wasn't it?
Absolutely was. But R.J. Keene making the extra effort.
Well, one of the keys to Colorado State's win in the first meeting between these programs, protecting their defensive board, only allowed 5 offensive rebounds to the Broncos. Blake whirling back to that right hand, and it counts.
A little bit of a late rotation by Buchanan coming over. And if you're going to reach, you have to go in with 2 hands. You're going to see Buchanan come over last second. You can't put 1 hand in there. If you're going to go for it, you got to reach in and grab that ball with 2 hands. Just a tough player. Or just a tough play in general. It's Buchanan, he gets to head back to the pond.
I think Carmichael was scheduled to come out anyway on that substitution, but he does pick up his second foul here and will exit with 7.5 to go before the half.
I like Jalen Lake's mentality. He's come in, knocked down a couple of shots, been aggressive. And you want to remain composed when playing against pressure. Not necessarily fight fire with fire all the time, but at the same time, if they're going to come up and crowd you, sometimes you just have to go.
He hit the game-winning 3 to beat these Broncos back earlier in the conference schedule. Now the regular season finale on senior night in Boise. With Terrence Oglesby, JB Long, glad you're with us tonight. Out of the corner, Omar Stanley, another one of these Boise seniors, lost the handle. They go to the floor, and the arrow will keep it with the Broncos.
Dog pile. Omar Stanley goes after the ball, doesn't have a piece of the ball, just jumps on Rashawn Bemba. Good defense, sliding his feet. Bemba there, and then Stanley just trying to cause a jump. Can't jump on top of him.
Yeah, they hit him with a personal foul. No jump ball, foul on Stanley, and over to the Rams.
He tried to force a jump ball.
Yes.
But got the foul.
His intentions were clear. Now Evans trying to shake him defensively. Single digits on the timer as Clifford gets it back and travels.
Good call, and I'm really intrigued by the matchup with R.J. Keene and Meek Clifford. R.J. Keene, the best player, according to Evan Maya, the best player in history that doesn't average a point and a half a game.
All right, you're going to have to tell us a little bit more about the PhD statistician and data scientist who those of us who love college basketball have come to know and love on social media.
Evan Mayakawa, who is a statistical genius, rates him as the best player to ever average a point and a half or less, and it's his overall impact defensively on the glass. His team is significantly better when he's there. Don't ask me to add numbers up, but I texted Evan today. He said it's not even close. Oh.
Stanley with another tie-up and foul. So 2 quick ones for the senior from Overland Park, Kansas. 2 years at St. John's before joining these Broncos.
They're going to get a timeout. That's not a good foul for Stanley. Going to have to play better position defense.
Leon Rice called him a beacon on the hill in terms of his personality. Said he wished that he could have had Omar for all 4 years, and also believes that he has a pro future, that his best basketball is still ahead of him in terms of his developmental curve.
There's a lot of guys now, I think at his size, you know, 6'8", 235, 240 pounds. There's a lot of guys that make a lot of money in Europe, just being big athletes that can defend, rebound, set good screens. He falls into that category. As far as NBA is concerned, doesn't shoot the ball well enough, but there's a long time that he can play afterwards just doing that.
Terrence, I know you're going to be there in Las Vegas for this tournament. New Mexico has clinched the 1 seed. Colorado State and Boise State playing for the 2. The loser of this game in all likelihood is going to face San Diego State, an NCAA tournament team in that 4-5 game.
You know, last season, the Mountain West got 6 teams in. New Mexico came, won the Mountain West tournament, 4 games, 4 days. It was magnificent. So much fun. Okay, so the foul's changed to number 2, Tyson Degenhart. Anyway, there's always that chance in the Mountain West for a team towards the bottom to make a run 4 days in Las Vegas. Nevada's got talent. Kobe Sanders, Nick Davidson, they have ability. Can they string together 4 in a row? Certainly possible. But you look at the bottom of the league. Last season, going into conference play, not a team was under 500. So important in the non-conference to be in that position, because your games have more value even towards the bottom of the conference.
Good action for Bemba coming out of the stoppage. He did not play in the first meeting between these programs because of an illness. He's been a factor here in the opening session. Cardenas, so good on pick and roll. Gets it to Ubo, who's undercut. And obviously, Terrence, our focus tonight is on building the at-large resume, right? A big opportunity, not just to get the 2 seed, but to fortify resumes for Colorado State on the outside looking in, and Boise State thinly on the inside and trying to stay there. But both these programs capable of cutting down the nets next week.
100%. The stakes have never been higher. Tyson Degenhart knows that. He's playing like that.
He's only taken 2 shots. He's made them both. He's got 5 points.
Clearly emotional prior to tip his senior night. He gets going. Watch out.
Crowd doesn't like the foul on Meadow, trying to deny the entry.
Got to continue to move your feet defensively, but Tyson Degenhart, you cannot give him that much space. We have a sold-out crowd here in Boise, and he's getting the people going.
Meantime, the 7th foul on Boise State. So the Rams enter the bonus with Jalen Crocker-Johnson, who, like so many of his teammates, has leveled up during this winning streak. He's averaging 12 points per game in the last 11. 77% foul shooter. How about Ethan Morton, 25 in green, checking in here? Spent 4 years at Purdue, so comes from a championship program.
Absolutely does. Won the Big Ten last season. Made it all the way to the national championship game. And this is a guy, look, he's not going to average a ton of points. 3 points, 3 boards, 2.5 assists. Ethan Morton is a connective piece, and every coach he's ever played for raves about him. Talk to Matt Painter about him. He just does all those other things that don't show up on the box score, and he brings your team value consistently.
1 out of 2 for the Rams at the line. We're knotted at 26. The Broncos surging in front with a 12-0 run in the middle of this half. Degenhart maintains the bounce. His point guard off his backside, and 8 to shoot. Cardenas, extra pass. Meadow. Bottoms.
Great offensive possession. Degenhart, Cardenas never lose their focus or composure. And Andrew Meadow, who's been playing great basketball as of late, is able to finish it off.
Clifford trying to calm the crowd. 8 to fire for the Rams. Meet Clifford with 5 over Degenhart.
That's an offensive player that is a problem. His ability to handle the ball, create looks, has just jumped to another stratosphere after last season.
Leads all scores with 9. Now can Degenhart and the Broncos answer? Barreling in and brings the whistle.
And if you get stuck on the left side of the floor, Cardenas just continues to work. Degenhart gets 2 to come. Extra pass, good, better, best. Forget about it. Andrew Meadow knows what to do from the right 45.
He's made a massive jump, hasn't he? Freshman to sophomore year, after starting just 1 and scoring barely 100 points last year in his debut season.
Absolutely, and over his last 5, averaging better than 16.4 points per game. He's been on a heater.
Degenhart puts it down, swarmed by the Rams defense. Shot fake Cardenas. Back to the hot hand. Out of the corner. Keene can't knock it down.
Hey, but here's the thing with R.J. Keene, he has to shoot that shot. And that's something we've seen over the course of the year. Bowen Bourne is speed on speed. Doesn't matter.
Keene wins it back on the defensive end.
How many times this game does Cardenas look like he's somewhat out of control and just regains it?
Controlled chaos, creating in the half court. Degenhart not this time. And it'll go over to Colorado State. Timeout us with just under 3.5 to go in what's been a thrilling first half. What would you expect from a couple of teams vying for the 2 seed in the conference tournament? High-level basketball in the NCAA tournament bubble. The Colorado State Rams shooting 61% on the road against Boise State. They've made half of their shots.
Well, they're playing with pace. They're playing in transition, and then when the game starts to slow down for them, they can't find anything. They have a guy named Nick Clifford who just creates something out of nothing at a remarkable rate. That young man, number 10 in your picture to the left, so supremely talented. Transferred from Colorado, wanted a bigger role. Played well alongside Isaiah Stevens last season. Test the draft waters, and I think it grew his confidence to another level. And he has been awesome all season long.
NBA.com this week has him as a late first-round pick. Only player in college basketball getting his averages. Evans using the rim to shield his layup.
I love Kyan Evans, and I'm telling you now, he will be an all-Mountain West level player sooner rather than later. It's not going to be this year, but he has been put in a perfect position to succeed last year underneath Isaiah Evans, and then sharing ball handling duties with Nick Clifford has taken a lot of his responsibility and lightened the load for him. You wait and watch. I mean, he is just developing so quickly.
Lake doing it at the defensive end. Here comes Evans again. Drops it off for Clifford, trailing. A finger roll at the finish.
He just floats, doesn't he? I mean, there's athletes, and then there's NBA athletes. Nick Clifford is an NBA athlete.
11 points on only 7 shots. 2.5 to go. Rams back in front. Cardenas calls his own. Meadow has a rare offensive rebound. Degenhart off the jab step. Oh, everything but the 3. 6-0 burst here for the Rams. Clifford could not extend it. An empty trick for Colorado State.
I want to see a ball screen right here. Set it. Find something to happen here. Nice move.
Sometimes it's as simple as putting your 2 best players in a 2-man game.
And here's the thing, too. Colorado State's so well scouted. You play in semi-break situation like that, quick drag screen, it lets your point guard get downhill. And as a senior, he knows how to handle it there.
Clifford with a difficult entry and turns it over. That's the 6 for the Rams.
For the Rams, number 21.
Sean Bamba set to check back in. He'll get Crocker Johnson.
Colorado State's defense in the half court has been spectacular so far. A lot of tough shots, active hands.
Buchanan off the bounce.
But those are the shots that they're being forced to take. A lot of step back jumpers, a lot of tough shots off the bounce. Colorado State really defending at a high level.
Evans trying to put the freshman in a blender. Clifford taking over.
You lean one way, he just finds that angle so easily and effortlessly.
And he's got 13. Cardenas with 10 for the Broncos. And a whistle away from the basketball. Colorado State had the foul to give. Evans still doesn't like it.
Kyan Evans is first.
It's Kyan Evans first. His jersey reads KC Evans, by the way. There's another Evans, Kyle Evans, on the team last year, so he went kind of middle initial, the C for Charles. And it works, he's from Kansas City. Meadow takes the bump. Weak side with one hand, it's Degenhart earning foul shots.
Degenhart's so physical. Boise State, as a team, the best offensive rebounding team percentage-wise in this league. Degenhart just, you know, he lost a little bit of weight coming into the season, and you've seen it in his quickness, but he didn't lose his strength around the cup. Guys just bounce off of his broad shoulders. He's able to attack the offensive glass as a result.
Prolific foul shooter tonight, his 132nd career game. He's got 3 guaranteed, including tonight left. Nick Clifford just took his 2nd personal foul, so Nico Medved will protect him in the final 37. Tyson Degenhart on his senior night, missing the 2nd of 2 free throws as we welcome in our audience from FS1. You joined us as we head to the half in a 1-possession game between Colorado State and Boise State. The Rams have won 6 in a row. The Broncos winners of 5 straight. Kyan Evans. Everything but the bucket. There's Degenhart to snag it.
High-level hoop here in Boise so far. Glad to have you along the ride with us. 2 talented teams.
At stake tonight, the 2 seed in the Mountain West heading to Las Vegas for the conference tournament. Cardenas, the leading scorer for the Broncos tonight, flips it up, and at the Emmanuel Ugbo with the buzzer beater.
That's what this game could come down to. Extra effort plays and who wants it more. Both teams firmly on the bubble. Nice offensive set by Boise State getting downhill. And Emmanuel Ugbo puts a bow on top of the first half. Terrific extra effort play by that young man.
The Broncos have won 9 of 10 since their loss head-to-head against these Rams in Fort Collins, what head coach Leon Rice called rock bottom for the program. They're trying to rise to the top and take the 2 seed to the conference tournament. 20 minutes gone, and all we've done is exercise in a sold-out arena in Boise. Well, 2 of the hottest teams in college basketball colliding in the regular season finale here in Boise. Colorado State and the Broncos locked at 34 after 20 minutes. And courtside at sold-out ExtraMile Arena with Terrence Ogilvie. I am JB Long. Hope you're having a great Friday night. Thanks for spending part of it with us. This game has delivered at the team level, but also at the individual level, featuring a future NBA player.
Absolutely. Nick Clifford, projected as a late first-round, early second-round guy, has shown exactly why. 6'6", 200 pounds, and he's such a creative scorer. Came back after testing the waters last summer, and a good thing he did. He has improved his stock with the ability to knock down shots, show composure, knock down shots from the perimeter, and he has done all of that on full display here in this first half. It's been the Nick Clifford show. I'm glad I've been invited.
Clifford leading the way with 13 points, his Rams shooting 61%. Rob Stone and Seth Davis have a preview of the weekend on the other side. Colorado State 34, Boise State 34. The statistical story as we set up for a critical second half.
Well, it's been the game of shooting percentages, really, and offensive rebounding for Boise State. Second chance points, 9 of those. They've just gotten more opportunities, and that's why we're even right now. But Colorado State offensively is finding whatever they want. They've had some high-level shot making by Nick Clifford, who's showing out instead of, you said 6 NBA scouts are here in the building. He's playing well.
Maybe take the over on 6. A few more have arrived based on how he played in that first half.
Word travels quick, but if Boise State's going to get a win, they need Cardenas, the man with the ball, to play well here in this second half.
Led them in scoring with 10. Only 6 for Degenhart. Did it on limited FGAs. Screening here to open the half-court possession. Cardenas with 10 to shoot. Degenhart trying to turn the corner. Crocker Johnson defending. Got to be now. Got the whistle and earns a trip to the line.
That's an old veteran player doing what veteran players do. You sneak down towards the end of the clock. You understand you have a younger defender on you. Crocker Johnson, just a sophomore. Quick ball fake. You're dead in the air right there. Degenhart scored a lot of points. He's not a guy that's going to hit his head on the rim. He understands how to be a player on the floor.
Mountain West scoring leaders this season, Donovan Dent first, and Degenhart and Clifford, the latter two on the floor with us tonight. He gets a lot of them at the line. Opposing coach Nico Medved said that he's like their Isaiah Stevens, right? He's seen enough of him. He's looking forward to Degenhart moving on with his basketball career.
We used to call that a Greg Paulus when I was playing. Like, he's a Boise State Greg Paulus, because Paulus was at Duke for seemingly 10 years.
Terrence Oglesby, former Clemson guard who played pro for nearly a decade, now with us courtside at sold-out ExtraMile Arena. The regular season finale for the Broncos and the Rams. Winner gets the 2 seed in Las Vegas next week at the Mountain West tournaments. Jalen Lake had a great first half. Operating off the bounce against Carmichael, the freshman, hits the fall away, and it rolls off with a rebounding foul against Colorado State. That's Crocker Johnson again.
It has been a really physical ball game inside about 12 feet. Both teams defending. And Andrew Meadow understands they're crashing from the corners. I got to get a body on this guy to close out this possession. I like this right here. Degenhart understands I have to relieve some pressure. I'll come up, set a quick screen. I'd like to see Degenhart more involved in this half.
Omar Stanley attacks to the corner. Cardenas. Weak side board corralled by Degenhart. Now Meadow brings the whistle.
Second chance opportunities, right? Degenhart, shot goes up from the corner. Degenhart understands if I get to the opposite side, that's where most of those misses come. Gets the extra opportunity. Clifford put in a bad spot in a late closeout. Terrific pass. He tries to recover. Nice job by Andrew Meadow, who's playing really good basketball as of late.
And the biggest part of the story, that's 3 personal fouls on Nick Clifford.
And he's been the catalyst for everything. When the shot clock gets low, get the ball to Clifford, he'll make something happen for you. He has to be careful.
And then we'll let him play through.
And for those joining on FS1 in the first half, this is where Boise State had some success with this full court 1-3-1. Not this time.
Clifford says, have some foul trouble right here. I'm playing through. This game means way too much to take a seat.
Nick Clifford said, yeah, they had success. Past tense. I'm attacking the cup.
Meadow. Oh, a difficult shot. He'll have to earn it at the stripe. As Rashawn Bemba went spilling over the baseline.
If you're going to attack pressure against a full court, move it up the sideline and find an athletic guy in the corner. Look at this bounce. Quick off 2 feet. Just throw it in, get back on defense. Nick Clifford, excellent way to manage the press, finding something quick in the offense.
Do you see this note about how in Division I history, a player has only averaged his point, rebound, and assist line 25 times? And among the company he's in, the likes of Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird twice, Jerry West, and Bill Walton.
It's pretty good company. Milt Palacio, Rich Strong. I mean, some good players.
He beat these Broncos in Fort Collins earlier this season with 20 to go with 7 rebounds and 7 assists. They trail by 4 here on the road in the rematch at ExtraMile Arena in Boise. Ethan Morton off to Lake. Now Evans trying to create. He lost the handle. Carmichael leads the break. Tried to call his own number, and Meadow cleans up.
I like the aggressiveness. I know Carmichael wasn't able to finish. Clifford was late coming over. You have to take that shot. That's something the freshman, as his career goes on, he's going to be able to knock through. And finally, some juice in this arena.
As the Broncos have 8 of the 10 since the halftime break. Clifford the only bucket for the Rams. They're trying to set up Morton, who was denied. Carmichael on the counter. Lays it in.
A little emotion in Boise. Omar Stanley understands his role defensively. Now they're getting the people going, some real energy. Nice pass, doesn't matter. Omar Stanley, not in my house. And then that ball they take off. The man they call Peanut, a little finger roll. to give Boise State an 8-point advantage.
Omar Stanley and the Broncos playing some of the best defense in the Mountain West. They've been even better at home, and they've been even better in this 10-game surge.
And even better with Omar Stanley protecting the rim. Not in Mr. Stanley's house. The defensive anchor for this Boise State team.
A couple of years at St. John's before joining the Broncos, he's really settled into the culture that Leon Rice has made his calling card.
He's an extra things guy. He's a hustle player. And under Mike Anderson, that culture completely different. He's come to Boise, played for Leon Rice. He's jumped into these things full bore, and he has reaped the benefits because of it.
Defensively, they've only given up that dunk to Clifford since the half. Now for three. Neat Clifford splash.
Just get him the ball. Every offense you run when you're in a rut, get it to your best player and let him find a way.
Alvaro Cardenas on his senior night playing with Stanley. Little two-man game at the top. Now to the baseline. And one.
How about the upper body strength by Andrew Meadow? The sophomore from Santa Clarita and West Ranch High School is a big-time athlete. Terrific cut, better pass, even better finish. He's put together. He's put on a lot of weight since he's gotten to campus. And I'm going to be honest, I miss the old haircut. He used to let it flow big time. I asked Leon Rice about it last time I did a Boise game. He's like, I kind of like the hockey look. I'm a little bummed, but I'll say this. Andrew Meadow is going to continue to score a lot of points here in Boise, and Leon Rice got a good one under the radar.
Tell you what, they're on the inside of the bubble right now because he saved them last week at Fresno with a game-high 22. You lose that one, your resume is decimated.
100%. And you know, that's the biggest difference between the bottom of the conference this year and last. That would have been a quad 4 loss. Can't have that.
Evans thought about it. Goes past Cardenas. Tough shot. Strong take.
How athletic. Off 1 foot. Evans so quick to the cup.
Stanley calling for it. From the top, he gets it from Degenhart. Senior to senior in Boise.
He worked his hind parts off to get the position to score. That bucket was created before he ever touched the ball. Good on Omar Stanley. The activity level for the Broncos is different here in the second half.
Evans hit the heads. He could not hit this scoop shot. Degenhart corrals it for the Broncos. They built an 8-point lead since the break. Cardenas shielding, stumbling. Back to Stanley in deep. Over Bemba. Oh, everything but the buckets. And that's 4 on Bemba, the Colorado State big.
I love it when guys just continue to work for the basketball. Seal in the post, you'll get rewarded. A little lefty for Omar Stanley.
Well, Tyson Degenhart became a starter early in his Boise career, and he has not left the lineup since. One of the most anticipated senior nights I can remember in college basketball.
And everything that he's gotten here in Boise, he has deserved. And I wasn't crying, but you were.
It got misty in here.
It
I'm
did.
Not gonna lie. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. Half of Spokane came down to join him. All of the Degenharts.
No question. We were talking to Leon Rice before the game. I was like, "Are you gonna cry?" He's like, "I'm gonna do my best not to." But when he comes through that tunnel, I might get emotional. He did. And here's the thing: what a great individual that Tyson Degenhart is. He's the only player in the country that texts me if he finds out we're doing a Boise State game. He texts me on Instagram, "Are you doing the game? Fired up to see you. Can't wait to see you." Better story, talked to the assistant coaches over at Boise State. They were like, his freshman year, we clinched the Mountain West regular season. And everybody rushed the floor, and there was a lady on the 3rd tier of this arena in a wheelchair that couldn't get down to the floor. He goes up to the top, and says thank you for coming, gives her a hug, and how much he appreciated her. This is his freshman season.
Stanley working hard, short clock for the Rams.
It's really a microcosm of the kind of young man he is.
And this may be his last home game, but he'll be in Boise for a long time to come, it sounds like.
He's already looking at real estate, I can assure you. He said, this is where I want to be. And I'm going to be honest with you, JB. This is where I want to be. This place is amazing. What a town Boise is.
Yeah, but you're going to have to continue to pay for your meals when you come back here.
Exactly.
I think he's good to go.
Big difference.
A travel with the shot clock running low.
Colorado State needs to be careful here. This second 4 minutes of this half, you need to do a nice job staying into this game, cut into this deficit a little bit, because it just feels like this lead is starting to snowball a little bit for Boise State. The emotions in this building, and then you look at some of these seniors really starting to get comfortable against this Colorado State defense, which was spectacular in the first half.
8 turnovers for the visitors compared to just 4 for the Broncos. They've opened up the largest lead of the game for either team. Alvaro, Cardenas picking his way across the top, and right on cue, he gives one away. Clifford with his eyes up, spots Evans and gets it back at the wing. Nick Clifford brings the whistle.
When in doubt, let Nick figure it out. I mean, that handling it in transition, giving it up to your point guard and getting it back immediately. When he goes to his left, he just does such a nice job, and that's a foul.
And it's the third on Omar. It's Javen Buchanan off the Boise State bench as Clifford goes to the line for 2. Now with 19 points.
So talented. I mean, think about this. He signs at Colorado, has a role, but never really felt comfortable. Comes here, or comes to Colorado State, plays for Nico Medved. His game has taken off, and you see the maturity, his ability to manipulate the game, and he can really score.
He might be the best pound-for-pound rebounder in college basketball, too.
I think that's certainly a case to be made. On the season, averaging 9.9. He gets to 10. I mean, that's real numbers.
And without Bemba on the floor here in foul trouble, they'll need him to defend this defensive board. Buchanan had it deflected. Rams get a steal. Clifford hits the Jets and wins the race to the rim.
You're not catching that, man. I like the switch to zone. You have a freshman in the game, Kyle Jorgensen, number 35 for Colorado State. A lot of offensive skill, but with the matchups in the game right now, who does he guard?
Boise State's seen a lot of zone their last couple of games. Getting back into their set, Buchanan facing up on Jorgensen. Back tap. One of those little plays that R.J. Keene does so often. But a third bite at the apple for Cardenas. And it falls.
Gotta finish possessions against Boise State.
13 second chance points. Make it 15. Clifford, a one-man comeback.
That's been the story. Second chance points for Boise State, and Nick Clifford doing whatever the heck he wants, whenever he wants.
Meadow out of the corner, midway point of the shot clock. Degenhart makes himself available. They get to the second side with Keene. Now they got to work. Cardenas creating with 3. A contested 2, and the Rams made a miss.
Good defensive possession, Colorado State. Staying in front, and when you play against the zone, you try to get 2 guys to the ball. Don't have to. Colorado State doing a nice job defending the basketball.
Kyan Evans quick on the crossover. Can he collect it? And he's fouled.
Man, he is quick, isn't he? I mean, his ability to change direction. The sophomore Evans, I mean, a different level of quickness. You look at the point guards in the Mountain West, you know, Donovan Dent has that level of quickness. Deion Thomas has that level of quickness. Like, he has that next gear that will get him in the paint at will. Now, once he gets there, That's the differentiator.
All Clifford. And a free throw to follow.
Sweet Lord, that man's good. He is cooking. Doing whatever he wants. Transition, over the top. He gets you leaning, and he's just so quick to reverse course. It's a big-time shot. And I'll say this, too. If you're going to reach in and foul, you better get your money's worth. Because he's so strong physically, he can push it over top. 27 points. And look at the efficiency. Unreal.
His team was down 9 at 50-41. With this free throw, he can bring them back within 1. Boise State will take a timeout.
That man, Nick Clifford, is doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants. Boise State's got to figure it out in this timeout. We'll see if they can do it here when we come back. This second half has been the Nick Clifford show. After 13 points in the first half, 6 of 9 shooting, he hasn't missed since the break. 5 of 5 and doing it in an assortment of ways. Knocking down shots on ball screens, attacking in transition, and just using his strength and athleticism around the cup. Nick Clifford is a special young player. 11 of 14 and 28 points. That's just silly work.
Closing in on a new career best, 31 against Tennessee State early in this campaign.
Yeah, that's in trouble.
We'll get to what Boise State might be able to change defensively to slow him down. But first, where do the Broncos go for a bucket to snap this spell?
I think you continue to move the basketball. This zone has given Boise State some fits. Move the basketball, get it in the middle, and you're going to have to attack quick because they recover so nicely out of it.
Javen Buchanan comes up short, but collects his own.
There's a period for Boise State where their best offense was throw it at the rim and go get it. I mean, second chance points have been a real thing.
Meadow. Oh, the bespectacled bomber breaks the funk.
I love that so much. Well done. Been playing much better as of late. Good looking jump shot, but he's got his hands full right here.
That was for my 5-year-old who needs a few more role models with the Rec Specs. Off front iron. Here comes Keene. Looking to extend a 4-point lead. To the trailing hot hand.
2 for $1, JB. 2 for $1. Andrew Meadow. They needed some offense. And as you said, the bespectacled bomber provides.
So loud in here you could hardly hear the whistle for a foul away from the basketball.
Ball moves. That was actually off a second chance opportunity. He knocks it through and then transition. R.J. Keene, his basketball IQ is elite. He finds the shooter. He shields off the defense. And Andrew Meadow, he's got 20/20 vision with those goggles on.
Always got to give the coach the credit for the well-timed timeout, right? Right when it looked like the Rams were rolling back within 1. Leon Rice settles his group down, and they've extended. Cardenas off the hezzy is fouled.
Nick Clifford finally missed on the other end. He is human, believe it or not. I was starting to have doubts.
First on Bowen Bourne defensively at this end. 7th on Colorado State. So we mentioned in the first half, if you're joining us, these are 2 prolific foul shooting teams. They get there a lot and they shoot a high percentage.
And one thing you notice with Boise State, whenever they've acted quicker in the first 6 to 8 seconds of the shot clock, off makes or misses, doesn't matter, they're able to get Colorado State back on their heels. That's when they've had the most success on offense. But Cardenas, you see the numbers, just another well-balanced performance. And Leon Rice raves about that young man.
He said he's never had a first-year Bronco assimilate and become a leader so quickly, and he did it despite missing the first handful of weeks of practice this summer while he was with the Spanish national team. 8 unanswered to retake a 9-point lead, matching their largest. Rams clearly trying to get it to Nick Clifford. Illegal screen. Jalen Crocker Johnson trying to spring his leading scorer.
That's 3 on Crocker Johnson. And I didn't see it develop. Take a look at your right side. Yeah, I mean, that's a moving screen. Let that play develop. And force Neat Clifford to use it.
Big possession here. Doesn't it feel like a tipping point?
It really does. If this game gets to double figures, I'm not saying they can't fight back because they have consistently, but just seems like momentum has been Boise's friend.
Degenhart traveled as he pressed a crease. Only the 7th Boise State turnover tonight.
Against that zone, Colorado State's done such a good job compacting whenever they get into the paint, when Boise State gets into the paint rather, making it really difficult for Boise to operate.
Couple of minutes without a score now for the Rams. Trying to stay connected with Boise State with the 2 seed at stake. Another empty trip. Cardenas waits for reinforcements. Gets that transition screen. Now on the counter. Bourne on the breakout with Keene in pursuits. And it falls.
That's one you might just want to let go. You want to get there. You want to contest. But you were at such a disadvantage from the beginning that it made it difficult. Keene, I like the hustle, don't get me wrong. Did his best to play vertical, but almost impossible to play vertical when you're running back in transition like that.
You know, a week ago against Utah State, another one of the biggest games of the season for Bourne and the Rams. They called it the Bow and Bourne game. Guyan Evans was in foul trouble. He ran the show, was locked in defensively, scored a season-high 18. He's through in a critical moment here, and Vern Harris leads our crew to the monitor. Amy Bonner and Mike Littlewood with him tonight. We're told it's a clock issue with 9:38 remaining here at sold-out ExtraMile Arena in Boise.
You know, Bowen Bourne's an interesting player because he comes from Northern Iowa. He was Missouri Valley Freshman of the Year his freshman season. And he averaged over 12.5 points a game his entire career there. Comes to Colorado State, gets stuck behind Guyan Evans, and Nico Medved said he has just blended in perfectly. He's perfectly willing to come off the bench for the better success of the team. That's not all that common for guys who played 4 years and were major contributors at their previous stop. To accept that role, and as a result, you've seen him play really well in some games, and other times he understands, hey, it's not my night. I'm not going to be utilized as much, and I think that's really big of him to accept that role.
Well, from the depths of December, the Colorado State Rams trying to win a 7th in a row and play their way not just onto but inside of the NCAA tournament bubble. We said it at the outset, this is a quad 1 opportunity, and they're lacking in that category. They need a signature road win. Una Carmichael stolen on its way to the corner. Neat Clifford doing it all. It's it back from Evans. Evans missed it all. Morton on the weak side. Extra pass. Williams spots up. And Degenhart fights for the board, but he gets hit with the foul.
Boise State fans do not like it, but it was the off arm of Tyson Degenhart that got the foul call, and it was the correct foul call. He would have gotten the ball anyway. You see a shot of his parents right there, mom and dad, but you see the off arm. If we get a look, that's where it happened. And Keyshawn Williams helped the ref officiating crew, sure, but that was a foul.
Both teams in the bonus now as Keyshawn Williams hits the front end. That came off the first offensive rebound of the game for Colorado State. And the Degenharts with the courtside seats. Only ones with a better view than you, Terrence.
I don't know. View we have is pretty elite here.
You have to look around me and my big head.
Touche. That's funny. You know, we met the Degenharts prior to game time. Exactly what you'd think they'd be. kind people. Raised a heck of a young man in Tyson.
He gets it here at the foul line. Good look to the left corner. It pops out, but he's there for the offensive rebound. Drives the crease and scores.
I love it. It's been the offensive glass, but that's been the story of Boise State all season long. Those extra effort, gritty, tight plays led by Tyson Degenhart, of course.
He's into double figures on his senior nights. Williams stopped at the baseline. Back to Neat Clifford with Ubo defending. Sprays it out to Kyan Evans. Contested three. Well defended by Boise State, but an offensive rebound by Nicola Joppa, who's getting some big second half minutes with Bemba in foul trouble. That's 3 on Degenhart.
But it's been the offensive glass, right? That's what's been the difference maker in this contest. And Degenhart gets the ball, takes his time, quick gather, dribble, and finish, and Pops is proud.
You're right, the first 31 minutes of this game without an offensive board. Now they've got second chances in back-to-back possessions.
100%. 20 second chance points for Boise State. That's been the game. And the crazy part is you look up and down at Colorado State's offense, shooting 54% from the field and 43 from 3. You told me those numbers prior to game time, I'd be like, Colorado State's going to run away with this. It was down 5 because they can't control the glass.
2 looking free throws there from Joppa to trim the deficits. Saw a lot of zone in this second half of the Rams. Now they're locked in defensively. Carmichael launches. Colorado State will get it back.
Say this. Peanut Carmichael is not shy. And while this hasn't been his game necessarily compared to what he's done in the past, only 7 points on 3 of 6, it's the threat of him getting hot in a hurry that has changed this team because it gives so much more space on the court when he's in. He is so good.
Clifford sensing his moment with Tyson Degenhart just hitting the Boise State bench. And now the locals are getting rowdy here. Little too close for comfort in Boise. R.J. Keene takes his 4th as we take a timeout with the 2 seed in the balance in the Mountain West. Tomorrow on Fox Primetime Hoops, it's a battle under the bright lights in L.A. as USC takes on UCLA in a crosstown showdown. Rivalry coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern, only on Fox.
UCLA 10-3 in their last 13 games. Mick Cronin, red-faced Mick. He's got those guys playing hard.
It's the must-bust crosstown at USC with the Big Ten tournament on the other side. R.J. Keene saddled with 4 fouls on the Broncos bench as we resume with 7:58 remaining at sold-out ExtraMile Arena in Boise.
R.J. Keene, 2,500 points in high school. He's ready to tell us.
He had that one ready for you.
He had that in his holster. No, he's an incredibly intelligent player. It's just when Neat Clifford gets a head of steam, I don't care who's in front of him. Anybody in the Mountain West, it's just so difficult because not only is he fast with really long strides, he's shown the ability to stop on a dime and change direction, and it just makes it incredibly difficult. Oh, no.
Broncos avoid disaster, have to hustle here after Clifford gets to the 30-point mark with nearly 8 full minutes to go, and his team back within a bucket. Veteran point guard Alvaro Cardenas trying to settle things down for Boise State. They've led by 9 a couple of times. That's a difficult top-down entry pass. And Degenhart and the Broncos fortunate to keep it.
You know what's crazy is every time we've been in this game, Boise State's gotten up 10 points, 11 points, and we keep find ourselves saying, man, Colorado State needs something right here. And they have answered every single time.
The short clock, a forced 3 goes begging for Meadow. And now Clifford has a chance to tie or take the lead.
Like we've talked about, Colorado State's so difficult to defend. They move the ball so well. But they know right now it's Nick Clifford time. Give him a ball screen, try to get out of the way.
Seeing two defenders, single digits on the timer. Lake behind the back, pulls up. Could not tie it. Offensive glass. Joppa able to talk it through. And we've got a new game at 62 apiece.
Joppa, the big Serb, making his presence felt.
All of a sudden, the offensive glass has been the best thing the Rams have going. A reach foul, and neither team has a foul to give. If you're joining us deep on this Friday night, a reminder of what's at stake. The 2 seed in the conference tournament, and as for the NCAA tournaments.
Absolutely, and you see Boise State last 4 in. They're actually the very last team in, according to the great Mike DeCourcy. Colorado State kind of floating in that next 5 to 10 spots in consideration, but a quad 1 win on the road here in Boise would be massive for their resume.
Tyson Degenhart, Alvaro Cardenas, and Omar Stanley playing their final Boise State home game. Here's Stanley at the line. Unable to reestablish the lead. Ethan Morton had the block out for Colorado State.
Just feels like a game with so much on the line on senior day for Boise State. How much fun is this?
Evans lines up a three. He's into double figures, and Colorado State's on the high side.
They have just kept battling and answering and answering. It's been a game of runs. Colorado State started off great. Ever since then, it was Boise. And then Colorado State just hanging around. Medved's guys doing a nice job just staying in it.
You mentioned that the Broncos make an average of 17 foul shots a game. They're going to have to use that formula here.
Excellent lift by Kyan Evans. Terrific read by Nick Clifford. Coming off that ball screen, understanding if they stay in, that guy's going to have that opportunity, and Evans able to knock through.
That's the feel for the game that you admire so much about him, right? Working on a 30-point night. Nobody flinches if he takes that shot himself, but makes the right play.
And he's dragging guys away from him. And Kyan Evans, you see, I mean, it seems like Colorado State always has a guy or two. He's next. Right, you see his development, his quickness in person. It's next level quick, and you don't really get a full grasp until you see him in person. And Colorado State with a 1-point lead feels like a big possession.
Well, less than 6 minutes. Clifford.
Who else?
Career high.
Are you kidding me? Nick Clifford. His own personal highlight show in Boise. Acting different. Coming off a ball screen. Omar Stanley, a half-second late, can't do that against Clifford. He has been nothing short of sensational today. Looking very much like the first-round pick that you've been talking about.
I mean, 33 on 16 attempts.
Seems good. Incredible performance by that young man today. In a game where the stakes could not be higher.
20 in this second half alone. He's brought his team back from down 9 in this half. Now they've got a 2-possession lead, and Rashawn Bemba, their starting big, is back with 4 fouls for Niko Medved. Tonight they got a chance to set a program record for most Mountain West road wins if they can get their 7th here. Trying to win the 7th in a row overall.
There needs to be some flow in this offensive possession for Boise State. It feels like it's gotten a little bit stagnant. They're trying to move the basketball, but nothing's clean. This ball needs to go to Degenhart, and they need to function off of him.
Against the 6'7" Morton, Lake the second defender. Julian Bowie in for the first time, turns it over. That's a steal for Ethan Morton.
Julian Bowie, he's got a bright future, just a freshman. But 5 minutes and change left in this game. You cannot turn the basketball over.
A kick, and the Rams will keep it.
Here's the thing, too. Colorado State playing so well defensively on the ball. They haven't required much help, so it's allowed some of the players for the Rams to be able to stunt and get back. There's 3 or 4 possessions, just like that previous one, that's just ended in turnovers.
Evans to Clifford. Cardenas defending. Neek Clifford, unstoppable.
Nothing short of it.
36 and rolling. 5 minutes to go. Cardenas in a 2-man game with Degenhart. One of the all-time greats, trying to drag his team to the finish line.
And they needed it. And here's the deal. If I'm Boise State, I'm doing my best to enter that ball in from a different angle than where he's been getting it. But Neek Clifford, he's shown his versatility as a scorer. You're smaller, I'm going to get busy in the post. And on the other side, Degenhart just using his physicality. He's going to be able to create some looks because he's so strong. But I would look for Boise State to try to enter the ball to the post from the top of the key. It makes those rotations a lot further along if you're going to come in and help in a one-on-one situation. He's been getting the ball at that Mountain West logo, and it makes the rotations pretty simple for Colorado State. They know where the next guy's coming from. Find creative ways to get Degenhart the ball because he's the guy where you have a clear advantage everywhere on the floor.
Caps it at the line. He's got 13. Now, they've not been able to slow down Neek Clifford, but Clifford has 4 fouls. Might they be able to knock him out of the game at the other end? They change the defensive look here. Lake surveys, finds Morton in the middle. Clifford lets the defender fly by. Too strong on the 3. And it's claimed by Meadow.
I was about to say, he can't hit everything, can he? Right here. Get the ball down there.
Cardenas wants it back. But they've got Clifford with 4 fouls defending Degenhart. Morton switches on defensively. 4 minutes to go to decide the 2 seed in the Mountain West. Step back 3. Cardenas shorts. Morton brings it in on the defensive board.
Continue with a 1-3-1, just throwing a different look. They have to find Neek Clifford.
Great entry. Bemba patient with the right-handed finish.
Bemba's such a curveball for this Rams team. Easily the biggest guy on the roster, at least from a width perspective. He can carve out some space, and he gives them something a little bit different on the interior.
You say curveball, I say wrecking ball. Meadow, difficult, deflected. Look who's there. Cardenas!
It's a big-time move. And the people in Boise sensing that they need a stop right here. Down 4 on senior night. Pass the half.
Lake, come on, under control, right in the middle of the lane. Timeout, Colorado State.
Just so composed under pressure.
This entire game has been played within single digits, and it's still in the balance as the teams head to the Mountain West Tournament in Las Vegas. Colorado State 75, Boise State 69 with 2:49 remaining. The winner gets the 2 seed at the conference tournaments. New Mexico has secured the 1, but they're in a 1-point game. The Lobos are against UNLV in their second half, so Colorado State could get out of here tied for first place with 16 league wins.
And you'd hang a banner, right, for the regular season. This is coming from a team in Nico Medved. They talking about early December. They were worried. But he talked about the continual development of his guys and how they've grown into their roles. I'm telling you, this team is a tough out. I don't care who they play. And defensively, they've been impressive today.
Alvaro Cardenas into the front court. Playing with Javen Buchanan here. Looking for Keene running the baseline. Daring him to shoot. Neek Clifford, the leading scorer with 4 fouls defensively for the Rams. Degenhart working on a 13-point senior night. Spots his point guard. Oh, everything but the 3. Rams dodge one there. They've got the ball in the lead.
Good defense. Ethan Morton. We talked about his impact despite not being big in the stat sheet. Just a cerebral player, and what a pass.
Clifford again willing to deal to Bemba. It's been a winning combination.
And that's the situation. He comes off a ball screen. You have to give him so much attention. You trap. But at 6'6", he can see over the defense. And this is an awesome, or excuse me, it wasn't a ball screen. It was a down screen. Both players go with him. Nice job, Bemba, rolling to the cup quickly. And a terrific pass.
Bemba, who battled early season injuries, playing his way back to health and into shape. Again, did not play in the first meeting against Boise State. Not because of injury, but because of illness. A couple of clutch ones here.
It's amazing how this game has turned. The offense for Boise State, I'm not saying it's fallen off a cliff, but it has been really difficult for them to get anything done cleanly.
This is their largest deficit after they led by as many as 9. Buchanan attacks and puts the foul on Bemba. He's disqualified.
I'd like to take another look. I thought Bemba actually had good position. This was just a matter of Javen Buchanan trying to force his way to the cup, and that's been their best version of offense, really. Bemba staying in front. And I don't know about that one, sir. Probably could have gotten called for a foul on the initial drive, right? But once the shot got off, I don't think that was a ton there.
Bemba's night 8 points on 3 of 3 from the floor. Buchanan at the stripe, where he's at 82%.
Speaks so much about the toughness of Colorado State this game. They just stayed consistent. They continued moving the ball. They continued playing defense. And they just maintained and stayed within their principles. We'll see now, Boise State and Ugbo, big-time athlete at the top of the press. They need to try to force some turnovers here.
Lake over to Clifford, and they break the timeline with Crocker Johnson. Evans looking for a deep possession and a productive one. They catch Meadow with the foul.
Physical by Andrew Meadow, trying to get through the screen. Crocker Johnson setting the pin down.
Double bonus situation.
Take a look at the bottom right-hand corner, and good screen. Meadows irritated, goes right through the chest of Crocker Johnson. Good foul call.
You know, Terrence, we've talked a lot tonight about resumes and Colorado State needing a quad 1 victory.
Man,
you've seen them in person. Does this look like a tournament team to you?
I think if Nick Clifford goes for 40 points on a given night, absolutely, that helps. But you look at what they do from an offensive perspective. You need multiple guys to hit shots, and you need the ball to pop around. They're unselfish. They understand their roles. They have different ways of finding offense. And defensively today, about as impressive as I've seen.
Keene. Gotta have it. 3 goes begging. Lake's there for the defensive board. Back in the hands of Evans.
This is going to be close.
He's got a timeout to utilize. Flings it to Clifford. And a 10-second violation.
Absolutely. So the rule is, and Nico Medved is saying for a timeout, but for people at home watching, they're like, well, the ball was past half court. It has to land in the other player's hands for this clock to, or for the 10-second count to be nullified. Because the ball was still in the air, correct call, 10-second violation.
So down 8, 70 seconds to go. Carmichael back in, replacing Keene.
And I like that for no other reason. And Carmichael provides a little bit more floor spacing for Boise State. Just the threat of being able to knock down shots from the perimeter.
Cardenas finds him. Now Degenhart. 1 minute to go. Got to be now for the Broncos. And Degenhart will have to earn it at the line.
And I'd like for Tyson, catch the ball in the post, go. Like, don't sit, don't wait on the double team. We're at the point of the game, you're less than a minute in. If you get the basketball, you need to attack right away. And you'll be able to get some foul calls. They've been lenient with the whistle in the post. Try to attack quickly. I just can't get over the toughness level of the Rams and Nico Medved. They were down 11 points earlier this half. A lot of ebbs and flows to this game, but they just stayed the course. Just so valuable to have a team with that type of resilience and character.
You said it earlier. They've been playing much of this new year without the burden of having to watch bracketology, right? They've been so far off that it's been liberating in a way. Well, now they're firmly there, and they get this win. College basketball fans are certainly going to take notice.
Absolutely they are. We're going to be able to take a look at their resume. Look, they're projected out. Quad 1 and 2, 6 and 7. This is a massive Quad 1 opportunity for them that, if all goes according to plan for them right now, they're going to be able to walk out of here with a win. Firmly on the bubble. I think, 7, 8 teams away from that line. This will move them 5 or 6 spots.
Now, Nico Medved was talking about one of his mentors, Dick Bennett, telling him early in his career that you have to have a group you can lose with first before you can create a winning team and a winning culture, whether it was Furman or Drake or here. These Colorado State Rams in the depths of December were a distant thought for much of college basketball. And here they are with a chance to close the regular season with a 7th consecutive win and taking 12 of their last 14.
I understand, coaches have so many philosophies, idiosyncrasies, if you will. You have to find guys that you can lose with before you can win.
You don't want to recruit them necessarily, but once they're in your program, you have to have the type of culture that can withstand losses.
Okay, fair enough. Fair point. However, you got to also have a bunch of guys in the locker room that don't want to lose. Got to put your best foot forward every night. I understand that. Maybe he's referring to, hey, if I can get effort out of my guys on a given night. But he said he didn't understand that until he was a head coach, and I'm not a head coach, so I don't understand it. So, touche.
I think it's the type of thing you can say when you're the only coach in program history with 5 20-win seasons, right?
Correct. And he's had success everywhere, whether it's Furman, Drake, now Colorado State. Got to take care of the basketball against full court pressure for Boise State. Look for Ugbo to come and trap more. That's dangerous.
Clifford and the Rams have that one timeout. Here's Lake on the hustle. Into the front court. Keen and the Broncos will play it straight up. Down 6.
If I were, oh no.
Almost dug it out.
Oh no. And here's the reason. I've raved about Keen. That's his 5th foul. He's going to go park it on the bench beside Leon. But, if you're going to foul right away. And Colorado State being in the double bonus, that's a killer, because now you've wasted the better part of 18 to 20 seconds playing defense, and then you still put them on the line. So if you decide that you're not going to foul, back off a little bit, play position defense, and give yourself a shot. And there was a game earlier this year. They were playing at Nevada. I did the game. And Boise State was up 3, and without the coach's consent, he goes and fouls with like under 5 seconds left to where they couldn't get one off. So he's an intelligent player. Just slight mix-up there towards the end of this one.
As for the foul shooter, Kyan Evans, he's developed this closer's mentality at the end of his sophomore season, stepping up in second halves recently. Hit a big shot against Nevada, and his season has taken off ever since. Will that be enough to put this game out of reach? Final 40 seconds. Cardenas has to hustle.
Shot needs to go up. This is taking too long.
Meadow over to Carmichael. Crowd getting antsy. 26 seconds left. That's off the mark. And that's going to be a Colorado State victory.
A microcosm of this game. Nothing cleanly. Colorado State pushing the offense away from the bucket, creating just enough havoc. it didn't seem like all game today Boise State could ever make a pass cleanly. And for a team in Leon Rice's squad that does such a nice job of running offense, they rely on passes popping. Colorado State hasn't allowed that. They've taken correct angles on the perimeter. They've done a nice job defending on the basketball. And now we're going to take another look at time on the clock. But, you know, Colorado State, Nico Medved has just done a masterful job of putting his guys in spots. And you can tell the guys all you want. They have to go out there and perform, and this group has certainly performed today.
Going to go down as the winningest conference season in Colorado State history. Program record for most Mountain West road wins. The league did expand to a 20-game schedule this season, but the Rams, who were picked 7th in the league, are on the verge of a 2 seed going to Las Vegas.
Can we please get this clock? Now, bang, bang play, Degenhart on the side here, making that extra effort. I don't know if we're going to be able to take a look at it or not, but maybe inconsequential either way.
You know, seeing Clifford there, who's played through foul trouble to get 36 points, a new career best. There's the conference win story. A single season high water mark. And Clifford, obviously, the driving force behind it. What do you see his future at the next level?
You know, so many things go into it. You know, opportunity, where you're placed, all these things. Like, he's got to fall into the right spot. That part is obvious. However, the things that he's capable of at 6'6", the scorer's mentality, can he shoot the corner three as well as what I think he can? I think he can really knock it down. But the dribble, pass, shoot guys, the dribble, pass, shoot guys, so valuable. Those guys that can do a little bit of everything. And tonight, he's certainly done a little bit of everything. Didn't rebound it as well as he typically does, but I think it was because he was so focused on boxing out, he never really got to crash the glass.
Safely into Crocker Johnson. Cardenas gives the foul. A deflating senior night for Alvaro Cardenas. He spent 4 years in this conference, the first 3 at San Jose State, a triumphant one here at Boise State. He and Omar Stanley and Tyson Degenhart will come up short in their ExtraMile Arena finale.
I'll say this, Mountain West tournament, that 4-5 game is going to be a knockdown dragout. San Diego State, Boise State, barring some kind of miracle, it's going to be an electric factory.
Jalen Crocker Johnson with the finishing touches. Julian Bowie, the freshman Carmichael. That rattles out. Morton gets a touch. And Degenhart the last to touch it. 5.4 remaining. Colorado State by 10. They've opened up the largest lead of the game.
An absolute masterful performance. And Tyson Degenhart getting checked out for the final time, presumably at ExtraMile Arena. What a career it has been for that young man. Not the end you hope for, but a career full. Mom and dad right there. But what a performance by Colorado State. I mean, this is, a special type of team. They didn't think they were going to be that good, right? And Nick Clifford has been that steadying force and that big-time scorer that they've needed, but the other guys have just fallen into place. Colorado State, I'm curious about that New Mexico score, because there's an off chance that Colorado State, excuse me,
they've opened it up late. They're up double digits. So the 1 seed New Mexico State, Colorado State with 16 victories will be the 2. And you mentioned that Boise State San Diego State game should really be something.
Oh, it's going to be physical. Both teams love to play in that manner. Tyson Degenhart, you see him there. Not the night he wanted, still ended up with 15 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Just I didn't think he got enough touches to really have the effect that we know he can have, but it was all about Nate Clifford. I mean, the efficiency, the ability to get to the cup, the shooting. He's just a different type of player. 36 points, just ridiculous.
After a 5-5 start to the league, the Rams closed the regular season winning 17 of 21, and they sweep the season series with Boise State. For Terrence, I'm JB. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Thanks to Bruce Wolf and Doug Brown, our producer and director. 83-73. Nate Clifford and Colorado State get a road win and a quad 1 dub.